Hi, dear students. Welcome to Social Science online class. Today, in this session, let us learn the first empire established in India, that is, the Mauryan Empire. Empire means a group of countries that is governed by one country. The first ever empire of our country, the Mauryans, ruled from Magadha. Mauryan Empire lasted about 321 to 185 BC. Chandragupta Maurya was the founder of Mauryan dynasty. Bindusara and Ashoka are the prominent rulers of this dynasty. Let us understand some of the important sources that provide light to Mauryan Empire. Megasthenes Indica. Megasthenes was in the court of Seleucus Nicator, the Greek ruler. He came to India as the ambassador of Greek in the court of Chandragupta Maurya. Megasthenes has recorded his experiences at Padaliputra, which was the capital of Mauryan Empire, in his book called Indica. Though the original book has remained untraced, later Greek writers like Strabo, Arrian, Diodorus, and Pliny refers to it in their works. The book Indica reveals the city administration, social and religious life of Mauryan period. Kaudilya's Arthashastra. Arthashastra is written by the teacher and the prime minister of Chandragupta Maurya, namely Kaudilya. He also known as Chanakya or Vishnugupta. The Sanskrit book outlines the basic principles on administration, foreign affairs and judicial duties that a king ought to know. By reading Arthashastra, one can understand the politics, economy and administration, social and other aspects of Mauryan period. In 1905, R. Shamashastri discovered the manuscript of Arthashastra composed by Kaudilya at the Oriental Library of Mysore. In the Arthashastra of Kaudilya, issues like administration, duties of the king and the prime minister, and other elements of the state, income tax, collection, interstate relations are explained. This book also details about the need for intelligence department and the management of finance. Vishakadatta's Mudrarakshasa. This Sanskrit play narrates the process of Chandragupta Maurya being brought into the power by Kaudilya. Deepavamsha and Mahavamsha. These two are Sri Lankan literary works that narrates the effort of Ashoka to spread Buddhism in Sri Lanka. Inscriptions of Ashoka. These authentic sources tell about the boundaries of Ashoka's empire, his effort to spread the Dharma and details of Kalinga battle. Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta Maurya, who founded the Mauryan Empire, came to power by dethrowing the last king of Nanda dynasty, Dhanananda, under the guidance of his teacher Kaudilya at the age of 25. In 305 BC, Chandragupta Maurya declared war against Seleucus Nicator, the representative of Alexander. This battle ended in an agreement. According to the agreement, Seleucus Nicator handed over 4 territories that included today's Afghanistan and Balochistan to Chandragupta Maurya. Moreover, he married his daughter to him. Thus, the Magadha Empire established a rule over a vast northwestern area. As per a Jain tradition, Chandragupta Maurya handed over his kingdom to his son Bindusara after accepting Jainism in his last days. At last, Chandragupta undertook Salyakena Vartha and passed away at Shravanabalgola in Karnataka. Emperor Ashoka. The son of Bindusara, Ashoka was the most popular emperor of Mauryan dynasty. He was a governor of Ujjain and Takshashila during his father's reign. It is assumed that he ascended the throne in the year 269 BC. He waged a war against Kalinga 8 years later. This was the only war waged by Ashoka after becoming a king. The 13th rock inscription of Ashoka provides more information about Kalinga War. This war took place in 261 BC. In this battle, 1 lakh people died and 1,50,000 prisoners were taken. Many more became refugees after the battle. Though Kalinga battle was won by Ashoka, he was disturbed by the death and the pain of the battle. He decided not to wage war thereafter. He considered victory of religion is better than the victory in the battlefield. Buddhism and Ashoka. Ashoka became the disciple of Buddha after the Kalinga War. Ashoka made donations to Buddhist monasteries and viharas. He prohibited the killing of animals and birds in his kingdom. Ashoka declared that all his citizens are his children. He declared that all should be loyal to their parents and respect their elders and gurus. He wanted people to show compassion to poor and slaves. Live and let live, said he. Ashoka appointed officers named Dharma Mahamatras to preach the principles of Buddhism. He installed inscriptions all across the kingdom to preach the messages of Buddha. Ashoka sent his son Rahula and daughter Sangamitra to Sri Lanka to spread the ideas of Buddhism. In 250 BC, Ashoka organized the third Buddhist conference at Padaliputra. Ashoka's inscriptions. Ashoka is called as the father of inscriptions. Till today, his inscriptions are the first inscriptions to be read. In 1837, British officer James Prinsep disappeared Ashoka's inscription for the first time. In all the inscriptions, instead of his name, his title, Priyadarshi or Devanampriya were used. Charles Burden, a British engineer, read an inscription at Masik of Raichur in 1915. In this inscription, Devanampriya Priyadarshi Ashoka reference appears for the first time. Ashoka's inscriptions are found in Brahmagiri of Chitradurga district of Karnataka. The symbol depicted in the pillar of Saranath is used the national emblem of our country. Economic system during Mauryan period. There are evidences which prove that the lake and canal system of irrigation was good during Mauryan period. A governor named Pushyagupta during the time of Chandragupta Maurya had built Sudarshana Sarovar, a dam in Junagadh of Gujarat. An officer named Tushaspa during the time of Ashoka built a canal system for Sudarshana Sarovar dam. The government was managing the agricultural sector. Prisoners of war and slaves were engaged in agricultural activities. Land tax was the main source of revenue for the state. A farmer was expected to pay 1/4 of his income as tax to the state. Officers named Samahartha and Sannidhata were in charge of tax collection and were also the custodians of the royal treasury. The technology of producing metal alloys had evolved during the region of Mauryas. As a result, urban-based artifact production and their marketing found place in the economy of Mauryans along with agriculture. There were major roads connecting the different parts of the empire from Pataliputra. A major road to Nepal passing through Vaishali and Chambaranya from Pataliputra was also there. A highway to Takshashila from Kausambi passing through the present Delhi and Punjab was there. Merchants were transporting goods on these roads to sell within and outside the empire. Kachu marked silver coins were in circulation in Mauryan kingdom. This period is marked as the second phase of urbanization. Social system. The social system was evolving out of the Varna-based caste system of Vedic period. During this period, people born in higher Varna could migrate to another Varna and gain better social acceptance and respect. Brahmana and Kshatriya could interchange their status. Though the society was divided into 4 Varna, several castes were also present during this period. Megasthenes records the presence of 7 castes in Mauryan society in his book called Indica. Indica does not record the existence of slaves and dasas in Mauryan society. Administrative system. Mauryans had a centralized administration where the power of the government concentrated in the hands of the king. Hence, a huge number of officials unseen before were appointed to run the administration. There was a strong espionage network. Minister, priest, princes and generals were the higher subordinates of the king. The empire was divided into provinces. These provinces were ruled by either princes or relatives of the king's family. There were regional administrative centers like Takshashila, Ujjain, Dhuli, Suvarnagiri and Girnar. Officials like Rujuka and Yukta and others were there. Rujuka was the officer of justice and Yukta he recorded the informations. The administration of Pataliputra was done by a group of 6 committees consisting of 30 officials. Art and architecture. The contribution of Mauryans to art and architecture is of great significance. Augustinus records the grandeur of Mauryans' palace in Pataliputra. The wooden ruins of the palace and the fort around the palace in Pataliputra have been found during excavation. During the period of Ashoka, many stupas were built and pillars were erected. The images of lion or ox are sculptured on these pillars. Our national emblem of 4-headed lion is taken from the Ashoka pillar of Saranath. The Kushanas. An important dynasty after the Mauryans is that of the Kushanas. They were basically from a nomadic tribe which had migrated to India from Central Asia. They were the progeny of Yuchi. The Sakas and the Parthians were the other foreign communities that had settled in the northwestern part of India. The Kushanas defeated the Sakas and the Parthians and settled in the Gandhara region. Kujala Kadphises were the founder of Kushana dynasty. Vima Kadphises and Kanishka are the noteworthy kings of Kushana dynasty. Kujala Kadphises crossed the Hindu Kush range and settled in the Kabul and Kashmir. During the time of Vima Kadphises, gold coins were brought out into circulation. Kanishka, who came after Vima Kadphises, was the greatest ruler of the Kushanas. Kanishka established his rule in 78th century and heralded a new era called Saga era. Kanishka's rule had spread up to Sanji in the south and Benares in the east. Purushapura was his capital. Madura was the another significant town of his time. Due to the patronage given by Kanishka, Buddhism could prosper much more than before. We get to see many Buddhist scholars like Ashwagosha, Vasumitra, Sangharaksha and others during his time. The fourth Buddhist conference was held at Kashmir under the leadership of Kanishka. Like Ashoka, even Kanishka sent missionaries to the Central Asia and China to spread Buddhism.